Alright, welcome back to the fourth episode of Sensei Sethlon's study. Worked out a couple of kinks in how I'm editing videos and recording audio. Audio should be pretty clear now without me having to run it through half a dozen different programs. And so for this week's episode, I wanted to do analysis of Oracle versus Lucky. Lucky, as you guys may know, came down to Infinity and Beyond as part of Turning Locator's Challenger Approaching program a while back, and also entered the Project M tournament while he was here. He came through and tore through our bracket and beat us all up, and had some people requesting doing some analysis of the matches that he did while he was here. Don't really want to cover my match against him because honestly, the set is kind of a mess, and in my opinion, I don't play very well, and he just kind of runs me over. There isn't really much to analyze there, other than this is what I did wrong, and I did terrible things here, and I didn't play well here. So instead, I wanted to do set against Oracle, much cleaner set, a better representation of the things that Lucky was doing correctly. So the first couple matches are Fox versus Rob. This is a pretty interesting matchup because Rob is a pretty slow character as far as ground movement goes. His dash dance is not very impressive. Like it's decent for like whenever you gained an advantage and are just outside of your opponent's range, but it's not very useful in neutral. More often in neutral, he wants to be like doing stuff like boost fairing to hit people that are out in front of him, or setting up lasers, setting up dash attacks, and occasionally going into the air and using his aerial boosts to do a sort of back and forth, potentially coming down with forward airs, potentially like full hopping up and then coming down with neutral air to cover like all his space. It can be pretty difficult to catch a smart, fast Fox, but Rob does get a pretty good stuff whenever he does actually get his hands on him. If he does manage to grab a Fox, he can chain grab with down throw for a good number of percent, and also has like one of the best gimping potential in the game against Fox. So if you get good reads, throw him off stage, you can just end the stock at any time. Whereas Fox, on the other hand, does not combo Rob very well. His up throw to up air basically doesn't work at all. Like it might work at lower, like super low percents, but he's never going to get a kill off of it because Rob is pretty floaty, pretty heavy. Yeah, the Fox has to play a bit more carefully. Moving, dash dancing, trying to stay out of Rob's range and cut off the angles of attack that he can come in at. So let's get started. First game, Stadium, fairly standard opener, which I think might actually be in Fox's favor. So this right here is a lot of what Rob is about as a character. So he comes in with the air dash, he drops the forward air, he hits his shield, and Rob is in a slight advantage whenever he's here. He's technically like minus a little bit, like -2 or -3, but his jab comes out fast enough that he can land and then jab before you would be able to grab him. So it becomes a mix-up of is Rob could jab, and if you shield, then the jab doesn't do anything, and you can potentially shield grab and potentially attack at a shield. Rob could just instantly grab if he thinks you're going to respect the jab option, or he can back up and try to dash dance, like bait spot dodges, and yeah, a lot of his offense, his pressure relies on this mix-up. In this situation, Lucky actually respects the jab and sits in shield for a little bit, and whenever he realizes Oracle is just sitting there doing nothing, he gets a shield grab. Yeah, Fox has to rely on down throw in this matchup, like I mentioned. His up throw doesn't actually combo. Lucky does get pretty good mileage out of it, despite the fact that he doesn't get any true follow-ups from down throw. He can still get pretty good tech chases. The up tilt covers no tech and tech in place pretty well, and he's fast enough to cover all the others. Yeah, here, perfect example of Oracle doing his thing, throwing Fox off stage and just forward airing him. So here, this interaction right here is something that doesn't happen in Melee. In Brawl, if you are near the ledge and hit an opponent with an attack, uh, and you get pushed back. In Brawl, if that happens and the pushback is enough to actually push you past the ledge, you do actually fall off, which does not happen in Melee. You can push other people off stage if, say, like Fox is shielding here and Rob forward smashed him, you could push him off stage. But usually you don't push yourself off stage. So the fact that that Lucky responds to this correctly, pretty good stuff. Yeah. Using his dash speed to punish kind of unsafe neutral air there. Let's see. So this is also a thing similar to Peach. If Fox goes for neutral airs that aren't particularly safe, Rob can crouch cancel and down smash. And it's not quite as potent as Peach's down smash. You know, Peach's down smash in Melee, if you hold down in a situation like this, it grinds your entire stock away. But it does pretty good damage, comes out fast, it's safe, and it sets up for tech chases, which is pretty important to be able to do that on Fox's aggression. Not many characters have something that's like that consistent. Here, pretty unfortunate. Oracle expected the upbeat to not make it up onto the stage, which it might not have in previous versions of Project M. There have been numerous tweaks to just how far Fox upbeat goes. Really good wave dash out of shield here. So this is something really important in the Space Animal matchup. So this, as I've mentioned before, is a really good situation for the Fox to be in, because even if he doesn't have shine pressure, even if he's not going for that sort of thing, you obviously cannot shield grab an opponent that's behind you. So he can basically do whatever he wants, and it's a really tough spot for an opponent to attack back. So Oracle, knowing this, wave dashes out of shield. If he had rolled here, if he had rolled towards Lucky, he probably would have got hit by the nair. If he rolled away, he might have still been able to punish, even off the whiff nair. So wave dash is a really, really fast, really safe way to get out of that sticky situation. Yeah, and so here's another thing that people don't really realize a lot of the time. Look at this, slow down a bit. So this nair actually is not safe on block. Whenever Space Animal... my markers, give it to me. Whenever a Space Animal is approaching, so he's in his arc for his nair, and he's hitting with his nair up here. And then, he falls down and then lands down at this portion of the arc. Nairs are generally not safe whenever you hit with them this high in the arc. It is not shield grabbable if you hit it on the bottom side, but because he's so high in the air, there are quite a lot of frames for him to get from here down to actually landing. So it's not the optimal situation to be able to shine pressure somebody. And Oracle actually takes advantage of it in this situation by just grabbing him before he can shine. He gets a tech chase. And here is an example of, a lot of times in Smash, people think about attacking an opponent, and they think about attacking them where they're at, which is not really the best way to go about things. The best way to go about things is attacking where your opponent is going to be. And this is a good example of that sort of thinking. So Oracle could possibly connect with another fair here, but there's also a pretty good chance Lucky is going to be able to jump out of it. So rather than aiming for down here with the forward air, he's actually aiming to cover this space where Lucky is going to be. Because Lucky wants to jump out. Lucky obviously wants to not get forward aired again, because if he gets another forward air off stage at this distance out, he's going to be dead. So he wants to jump out as soon as possible, and Oracle sticks the fair out, and the lingering hit hits him out of his double jump. And he gets the back air for good measure. Make sure he doesn't make it back onto the stage. to back air out of shield. Yeah, Lucky looking to get the tomahawk. Oh, this is actually pretty good. So Lucky tried to do full hop tomahawk grab, full hop like fainting with the aerials, then dropping down and grabbing. But looks like he didn't get the turnaround that he wanted. He spot dodges the attempted punish from Oracle, and then gets a really good shine, wave dash, up smash, kill. So manages to convert that poor situation into a good one. Yeah, Rob's down smash is actually pretty difficult to punish. It doesn't have much end leg on it. I believe it breaks crouch canceling. So it's a pretty good move for him to kind of chunk out. Doesn't get too good a reward off of it, but can get a momentum. And against Fox, that's really important. Good back air. See, the Fox is one of the characters that actually isn't in too bad of a situation whenever he's got his back to an opponent whenever he's in shield, because he has this option. Goes out really far, comes out really fast, and overall really good. You can land and shine to make it pretty safe. Oracle, not sure what Oracle was trying to do here. Generally, whenever Fox drills a shield, I believe the drill to shine is perfectly frame safe. Both players trying to work themselves into a position where they can finish their stock off, both at exactly 99%. Yeah, and you can see here the what I'm talking about with Oracle using the aerial boosts to move around in neutral. So this is a kind of interesting situation where Oracle lands the dash tech off of the missed tech, and here he could actually do something at this point in time, but Lucky is here. Oracle can't jump up and do a forward air. If he does, it's probably not going to hit. He could just say jab or down smash or maybe even forward tilt, but none of those have that great a reward. Down smash, if he DIs in, he's going to be going up here, and Oracle might be able to forward air him out of it, but that's not going to kill him from this point on Pokemon Stadium. Jab doesn't do much. Forward tilt might hit. It's kind of hard to say whether or not it'll come out fast enough. Instead, he's just patient. He waits. He lets Lucky fall, and then he gets the drop zone forward air. But he does miss the back air edge guard, unfortunately, and lose the stock for it. Really, rather crucial point in this game. If he had gotten that back air, then he would have been in a pretty good spot to potentially just grab Lucky one more time and finish the game and just win. Does clip him with that neutral though, so still pretty even. This is another interesting thing. I believe I mentioned in the Junebug match is that there are different types of item throws. And here Oracle is actually using a lighter throw. So normally this would be zipping out pretty fast. Instead he uses, I don't know if this is just a jab or a tilt throw, but a relatively weak throw that takes a while for the gyro to actually get out there. So because Lucky has been shining, reflecting a lot of Oracle's projectiles. So Oracle does this so that the projectile goes out, and it actually comes back pretty slow. Get it slow down a bit. Yeah, normally, if he had reflected that, if it was a hard item throw, it would bounce right back in his face instantly. But because he used a lighter throw, it goes out kind of slowly, hits, and by then has lost most of its momentum. So it kind of peters out, which gives Oracle enough time to roll back and not get hit by it. Crouch cancel down smash there. So this is an interesting situation. This is something that Mango did a lot whenever I played him at Wobo. So because of the fact that you can't really jump in with neutral airs, it's very difficult to do them actually have them land on the way down to make them safe. Instead, you can run in and do a deep neutral air, and so it'll hit at the height of the arc, which technically is not safe to shield grabs, but you're crossing your opponent up. So unless they're like some characters like a space animal, maybe Sheik might be able to nair out a shield or back air out a shield to punish this. But overall, pretty safe. And from here, like he can set up potentially shines on the back of the shield. He could up tilt. He could just back air again. So really good positioning. And Oracle does manage. Did he just drop shield down smash? Oh yeah, drop shield down smash. Interesting. Which I guess makes sense considering he did the back air pretty high. Oracle, you see here, down smashed a little bit early. Hoping to catch him out of the whiffed back air, but wasn't quite in range. I think he might have been able to DI the up smash and survive. I'm not sure. But regardless, Lucky takes the first game. Pretty close game. It could have went either way. Let's see, next game starts at 30 days. So this is sort of an odd matchup to counterpick for Rob, because a lot of times Rob wants to go to a really big stage because he's a really tanky character. He's got a pretty good recovery. It's really difficult to stop him from recovering high, and so he wants a big stage where he can like outlast his opponent, continually do down throw combos, and just survive longer than they can. But Fox is really fast, so like Oracle could pick FD, but then Lucky's just going to run from him the entire game. It's going to be a pain to actually corner him and hit him. And Fox has a pretty good tools as far as just converting randomly into kills with up smashes and up airs and back airs. So Rob has to do a counterpick to kind of unconventional counterpicks for him. So he's going to go Green Hill Zone for. This is actually a pretty good pick in my opinion because the ceiling's really high, so he's going to survive up airs and up smashes longer than like Stadium and Smashville and other stages. It's flat, so he can get down throw chain grabs for longer if he chooses to go for that. The bottom is fairly low, so he'll survive most shine spikes and be able to at least attempt to boost back. But it's also a pretty small stage, so throwing Fox off stage is a pretty viable option. So here's an interesting situation. So normally in this spot, so you knock a character off stage with Rob. Most space animals in this situation are going to want to get to the ledge because, yeah, as always, the ledge is the safe place to be. It's where you don't die if you get hit randomly. So normally space animals would be double jumping backwards and then either side B'ing or starting up a Firefox and setting up the mix-up of like going straight up or to the side or directly to the ledge or just barely on stage. And so this is generally the spot you want to cover, which is pretty easy to cover with Rob. You just run off stage and forward air. But at this point in time, Lucky has seen enough of Rob to understand that Rob very easily does cover that spot. So instead, Lucky jumps in. And Oracle does fall off of the forward air, but it doesn't hit back here. It only hits in front of him, naturally, for a forward air. And yeah, he's not. In some situations like this, space animals would double jump up and then air dodge onto the stage. But Lucky isn't quite close enough for that, so he has to double jump up. He goes super deep and sets up the up B here, knowing that the multi-hits of the up B will hit Oracle if he does try to do the forward air. Which would have been really unsafe if Oracle had just waited and then looked, and then he could just run off and spike him. But because of the nature of like this mix-up, you have to be covering this quickly. You can't wait for that, because if you do wait and try to react, and he side B's, he instantly gets to the ledge, and then you're basically a lot of your pressure is gone, because then Fox can do stuff like waveland onto stage or set up a side B, etc., etc. Pretty good. You see here the looks like Lucky. So he sets up a proper nair. You see in this nair, he does actually hit on the way down. See, he jumps and he hesitates before nairing, so that it's hitting much lower on the shield in the arc of the jump. So it is safe on shield. He does actually. The shine. It looks like the shine traded. Maybe it didn't trade. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like it might have just missed. Looks like he was a little bit too far away for the shine to actually connect, strangely enough. But yeah, and you see here, Oracle doing the same setup instantly. So here it's difficult for Lucky to do the same thing he did last time because he's much further out. And so like the last time, whenever he got knocked off stage, he's at a much steeper angle, so it was easier for him to get up and underneath. Here, he's actually in a pretty terrible spot because if he tries to double jump up, he's going to be like right here, which would still be covered by the runoff forward air. Instead, so rather than going directly for the perfectly horizontal with the ledge, he goes for a higher up B, so that in hopes of dodging like the fair that would cover this normal spot. But Oracle has got his edge guarding down pretty well, so he reacts to the high up B, double jumps high, sets up another forward air. And this is pretty unfortunate, but Oracle probably should have gotten the kill here. So he gets the clip, gets the second up air, and he didn't sweet spot with I think either of those the forward airs. And so Lucky is close enough to barely sweet spot to the ledge. I think, personally, what I think he should have done here is actually boost up and set up another forward air right here, rather than turning around. He could have jumped up and forward aired again, and I think that would have sealed the deal if he did sweet spot the forward air here. I could be wrong. But he goes for the spike instead, does a little bit too high, and Lucky lives. So here, I think Lucky missed a bit of an opportunity. He could have DI'd onto the platform and escaped the tech chase, but Oracle doesn't actually set up the tech chase correctly. So. Good up smash to catch Oracle out of his shield option. Yeah, it can be pretty difficult to punish the perfectly spaced Fox up smash, especially whenever it's fresh. Interesting to note. So in Brawl, as I'm sure some of you guys might know, moves had knockback deterioration, which means that if you used one move several times, then it progressively knocks your opponent less far away. Melee doesn't have that. What Melee does have is damage degradation. So if you hit someone with a move, then if you use it again within like the next 10 or so attacks that hit your opponent, that move will deal less damage. Which does not affect knockback at all, but does actually affect shield stun. Because shield stun formula is derived directly from percent damage rather than knockback or anything like that. So a fresh Fox up smash like this is, I'm not actually sure if this is completely fresh, but a spaced up smash, especially if it's fresh, is extremely difficult to punish because it's got fairly low end lag. It's technically pretty minus on block, but because he pushes you so far away, it's difficult to, you can't shield grab it, and it's difficult to get in close in time. Like, Oracle tries to wave dash in and down smash here, but doesn't quite come out fast enough. Here, interesting choice for the space animal pressure. So he gets the drill. He's going to be safe with the shine. And there are a lot of things he could do here. He could do jump cancel grab, which will beat just waiting. He could shine again, which would multi-shine, assuming that I haven't actually seen Lucky do any multi-shines this tournament. But if he did do that, it beats basically any option that's not sit there and wait. He decides to go for a fade away neutral air. Just a really safe, really good option, because it comes out really fast, so it will often stuff shield options that your opponents try to do. It hits pretty high, so it's pretty good at shield stabbing. And it's also safe. If assuming you do just continue shielding, he drifts back and is out of shield grab range. It's really smart pressure, really safe pressure. Neutral air on Oracle to beat the Nair approach. And again, so I think at this point in time, Lucky knows that Oracle's been, I guess, kind of mixing it up whether or not he's going for back air or down air. So this situation right here is basically a mix-up for which one Oracle wants to go for. If Oracle wants, like, he could jump up and back air, which would cover this space, which wouldn't cover the sweet spot to the ledge, or he could jump up and down air, which would cover the sweet spot, but not a high up B. And Lucky guesses correctly that he's going to go for the spike. So Lucky up B's high, and it goes over the spike hitboxes. Really clean waveline back here. Super smooth. Let's see. Yeah, the up smash out of shield with Rob is actually pretty fast. One of his better out of shield options, especially if you back to the ledge. Here, Lucky actually misses his shine. Goes a little bit too deep for it. If he had hit that shine, Oracle would probably have been dead. Good. So interesting. So Lucky using the full hop to try and laser, probably in expectation of Oracle setting up the full hop side B boost shenanigans. But it also, ironically, does a pretty good job at dodging the laser. So you see here how good Lucky is at shutting down the different ways Rob can move around. So here, Oracle hasn't been using grounded attacks very much. Like, he could be poking with forward tilts, but those are pretty low reward, especially for a character like Fox. So in this situation, Lucky knows that that Oracle wants to set up the boost in forward air. And it's very difficult to beat that at the end of the boost because the hitboxes for the forward air are super meaty, super big. And instead, he tries to beat it in the middle of the boost, which he does by setting up the turning away, and then jumping into him backwards. Just really smart. Really good. Unfortunately, SD's right afterwards, but... And you see here he's doing it again. This time, so he lasers, turns around, he shields just a little bit, just in case Oracle was going to dash attack a forward tilt. And then, out of shield, uses that position to jump up and cover all this space with back air. Stuffs Oracle's boost clean. Yep, so Lucky got a really strong lead at this point in time. But kind of scary in that situation against Rob, since Rob can just grab you once and kill you. Yeah, Fox is that's one of the reasons why you don't see Fox play too much in Project M, in my opinion, is because not only do you need to play really well, you need to play really technical, but you also need to play really on point. If you very few mistakes against most characters in the cast can lead to really big punishes. Yeah, so we're here. Oracle again tries to cover the double jump. And so he falls off with the forward air, fast falls. Lucky this time actually just up B's in place, which is much lower than the forward air can cover. It's very difficult to run off and get coverage on all this area of forward air, and if he did, that would be leaving the double jump away pretty open. Pretty smart by Lucky to instant up B. He's doing a really good job of mixing up the way that he's recovering. And here is really good. So he hits Oracle with the up B, And this is a pretty awkward spot for Fox to punish. Like he could jump off stage and like shine, which would probably legitimately combo, but Rob's got a good enough recovery that he's not going to die to that. Like that, he could still have a chance of boosting. He still has his boost, still has his double jump, so he would probably be able to make it back afterwards. Forward air, not going to kill a character, especially Rob. He could jump off stage and double jump neutral air, but he'd have to go like super deep for the neutral air to be able to get it to sweet spot, which would be kind of risky. Um, yeah, that's most of the conventional options that Fox has. But instead, Lucky chooses a pretty unconventional option, which is falling and then dropping with the up air to cover this area, since Rob is just dropping down to a generally safe area. I think this is usually a pretty safe place to be against Fox, unless he's looking up to like jump out and shine you. But pretty clever conversion by Lucky. So same concept as the cross-up Fox Nair. Whenever Rob gets a cross-up forward air on people, generally in situations like this, whenever they try and run in and shield, um, he's in a fairly good spot. Not as good as Fox cross-up is, because his back air is slow, his jump squat's slow. He doesn't have a really good up tilt. Fox up tilt has much less end lag, much better combo move in general. Down smash, however, is a really good option, which Oracle does. Pretty good poke at the back of people's shield, and Oracle Lucky does actually jump over it with a down air here. Barely manages to punish. Got some throws, and ooh, so it looked like Oracle was trying to cover the side B there, but so this is another interesting thing. Rob forward smash, if you angle it down, does actually cover below the stage a little bit. So it will blow up some sweet spot attempts like this. There are some other characters that can do similar things, like Martha and Roy, if they jump and time their aerials correctly on the way down, can actually reach like well below the stage with down air or forward air or neutral B. The way that you actually beat this is you don't try to sweet spot down, you try and sweet spot out. So if Lucky had, instead of up, like so here he tries to angle in so that he can ride the wall and get the sweet spot. Instead, he could have up beat straight up and then fall in and been just inside of ledge grab range and sweet spotted out rather than in. Which would have dodged the forward smash, but understandable that he would get caught off guard by that. Shine by Lucky. Here's a pretty good play by Oracle. So he sees that Lucky has grabbed the gyro, and it's pretty difficult for Rob to like poke at characters without the gyro. I mean, Fox is already faster than him normally with lasers. I mean, it's pretty difficult to like throw a gyro or laser in there. So he decides to just set up a side B. He does the forward air a little bit early. You can see that Lucky clearly isn't in range whenever he starts the forward air. But he does it early to beat out the gyro toss. And the forward air lasts long enough that it catches Lucky afterwards, too. You can see here the Oracle's knowledge of fighting against other people using his gyro coming into play. Gets a decently solid punish off of it. He probably could have pushed for more, but was a pretty difficult spot to cover. Oh, you see, look at his movement. Lucky's movement is absurd. So he blocks the aerial and jumps out of shield with a neutral air. And so normally in this situation, Fox is the neutral air and then just comes straight down, hoping to follow up with a combo or like shine pressure, neutral air, or like drift away, which wouldn't be altogether safe in this situation since he's drifting towards the way Oracle is facing. He could like jump out of shield with forward air or wave dash out and do mean things. Instead, he neutral airs and then drifts behind him and sets up the cross up. which it doesn't look like it's going to cross out. Like it looked like he's going to land right on top of him. It's a very sneaky play. The Shine trading with the neutral air. On stage edge guarding, not very good against Rob. Oracle, well, again, kind of missing an opportunity there. It looked like he's forward airing to cover the up B straight onto stage, but it's pretty easy for Fox to react and just go off onto the ledge instead. And here, I actually had to like slow this down and look at it several times. It looks like Oracle's actually starting up a laser on accident. He probably tried the up B or side B and got a missed input, which unfortunately led to the stock. So at this point in time, Lucky's been handling Oracle's Rob pretty consistently. Yeah, Oracle did miss a few edge guards in there, which I think could have turned the game around if he did get them. But instead, he decides to try Charizard out, which I think isn't too bad of a choice because considering Lucky, especially at this point in time, hadn't played PM much, and I'm pretty positive he hadn't played against a Charizard player. And Charizard's got sort of the same thing going as Rob does in that he's a pretty beefy character. The Fox Up the Rubber doesn't work on him, and he has the potential to combo and edgeguard space animals really well. So as far as random desperation gambits go, not that bad. So yeah, a lot of what Oracle is going to be doing in this game is based around this. Charizard's big ol' meaty jab. Sort of like a... really similar to like a higher base knockback Sheik F-tilt. And because Charizard is such a heavy character, he's going to be able to crouch cancel a lot. So while he doesn't have access to the crouch cancel down smash that Rob has, or like versus neutral air and other attacks, he does have this option, which is also really good. And it's also good against the just general jump-ins. Like, because the hitboxes are so big, a lot of times it will trade or like outright beat a neutral air approach. Pretty good movement by Lucky. Yeah, both players, both at a pretty high percent, definitely killable. Good forward air there, probably saved Oracle's life. Yeah, that in this matchup as well, as you can see, Lucky has to go for the down throw tech chases rather than getting a clean conversion off of up throw. Yep, pretty good follow up there by Lucky. Pretty rough spot whenever you're above a platform like that against Fox. It's pretty difficult to get out of that, at least taking some damage. Yep. Oracle not doing the perfect follow up on down air, but that side B, yeah, side B didn't reach quite as high. So there's an interesting quirk with Charizard's grab, in that the way that you DI it is kind of strange. So unlike most moves, Charizard's up throw actually sends at a perfect 45-degree angle out. And so what this means is that generally you don't want to DI at all against it. Because if you DI away, then you go out the angle that you see Lucky's going here, you fly out really far, and you die off the side earlier. If you DI up, then you go at a higher angle, and then you die off the top earlier. So a lot in many situations, it's better just not DI the move at all. Strangely enough, in this situation, it probably would have been better to DI up, especially considering Fox is a faster falling character, and because Battlefield ceiling is higher out than the side is close. He may have been dead at this percent regardless, but random facts. Oracle trying to get the dash dance grab there, but Lucky doing a pretty good job of keeping his dash dancing safe. Approaching very intelligently, getting pretty good reads. So here, This is a trick that I use a lot in our area, which people have actually started calling the Sethlon in DFW, despite the fact that I blatantly stole it from Forward back in the day. Is wave dashing whenever your opponent is on a platform. Obviously, their safest option is to shield, because you can rise to the attacks and do whatever you want to them whenever they're in their downtime. So it can be pretty challenging to get around this because you can't actually grab them whenever they're on a platform and you're on the ground. So the way that you can get around that is by jumping up and wave landing onto the platform and then going for a grab. Oracle actually saw this coming, probably because he's seen me do it a lot, and stuck out an up smash out of shield. It's a really good response, especially considering the tiny amount of time he had to actually react to it. So here is really smart by Lucky. So he hits him with gets the clip, the sour spot back air, and Oracle gets pushed really far away. So he rushes in to try and get the tech chase, but he can see that he's not actually going to get there in time to get a true check chase. You won't be able to hit him while he's vulnerable from the get up frames. And so generally whenever players are in this situation, they'll use whatever get off me move they have. Like for Marth, it's up tilt. For like Roy, down tilt. Charizard obviously is jab. So instead of actually trying to beat the jab straight out, Lucky just runs up and crouches. And that obviously, Charizard jab is a pretty base heavy move. It doesn't have that much knockback growth. So at this percent, he definitely will be able to crouch it with full crouch canceling. And gets the up smash punished for the kill. Yep, so the CU Oracle still using, despite the fact that Lucky's been playing around it pretty well, still being able to use that jab pretty well as a counter poke to Fox's approaches. Really clean backwards drill shining from Lucky. So Charizard up B, for people who might not know, is actually a pretty good out of shield option because it has invulnerability on startup. So if Lucky had dropped here and then went for a shine, then the up B out of shield would have been invulnerable for the shine's hitboxes and then hit him afterwards. It's one of Charizard's better options whenever opponents are crossing him up like that, because similar to Rob, he doesn't have like a fast back air to cover behind him. He doesn't even have like a Roy or a Marth down air that he can do out of shield since he has the stomp that has pretty low range. So he tries to go for the up B, which is usually fairly safe on this stage because he can up B up and then land on the platform. But in this situation, he's a little bit too far away, so he has to angle too harshly to actually make it over top platform. So leaves him pretty wide open for a punish here, but more clean drills from Lucky. So here, in past revisions of Project M, the side, the glide, and the glide attack completely overrode any momentum that you would have, which actually had some pretty silly interactions because you'd get kneed by Captain Falcon at like 160%, and if you crouch cancel, then you would slide off stage, go directly into normal fall, and then you could just directly enter a glide. So instead of flying off stage and dying, you just stop your momentum early and then glide back to the ledge and be perfectly fine. In 3.5, it was changed so that the glide and the glide attack don't completely override momentum. It just like overrides it like by 50%, I want to say. I guess on my part. But yeah, that makes it so if you do an instant glide attack like this, it doesn't override all the momentum. So kind of an odd interaction, but one that was made for intentionally. Yeah, and here, you see Oracle actually does get the proper down air set up here, which is down air and then immediately down B, so we can get super high, which he's actually at 2 high% now to true combo into the up air, but he does another one on the way down, and it trades with the Fox down air, and he gets a kill. a pretty rough spot in this situation. It's pretty difficult for Charizard to come back. Like, he hasn't got any really good edge guards against Lucky's Fox. I'm not actually sure what Lucky was trying to do here. The wave dash off forward air was a pretty good option to beat the wave dash off back air was a pretty good option to beat Oracle's forward air, like poking at the stage. I don't know if he could have actually survived this. Maybe he fastballed accidentally, or maybe he just misplayed. I don't know, not sure. But he's still in pretty good shape here. Charizard's at a percent where you can just raw kill him pretty soon. Oracle doing a pretty good job getting out of the down throw tech chase. And this is actually really interesting shine. Plus, on a pretty good frame there. Where I would not normally have expected that shine to work. I don't know why it did, honestly. I would think the hitboxes on Charizard's up B would be reaching up above him into Fox before the shine hitbox would hit him. I don't know if Charizard's up B hitboxes terminate before he ends in his arc. But regardless, Lucky gets really good shine in that situation, which pushing Charizard back like that, he won't be able to up B back to the ledge. And so ends the set. Yep. It's hard to say. I think this could have been a bit cleaner set. I think Oracle could have stood a much better chance if his edge guarding was a bit more on point. Lucky obviously playing really well himself, so it's hard to say if that would have been a big enough difference for the set to swing in the other way. But yeah. Hopefully next time Lucky comes down, he'll play a bit more on point and give him a better run for his money. But I'll conclude this week's episode of Sensei Sethlon's study. Hopefully the audio sounds better. Running it through a couple other programs that are filtering out some of the noise. Yep, as always, let me know if there's anything you guys would like to see me do better, if there's any sets you'd like me to cover, etc., etc. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next week.